So-called third rail of American politics be touched. Our colleagues at the Wall Street Journal reporting a White House panel considering various changes to Social Security.
The syndicated columnist Mychal Massie says we need a fix as long as it doesn't involve raising taxes.
But Newsday columnist and Fox News contributor Ellis Henican says better that than raising the retirement age. We are going to see if we can get some common ground here, and maybe that will give us hopes our lawmakers can also agree on a way to save Social Security. Ellis, why not raise the retirement age a couple of years?
Well, because this is a real slippery slope. I mean, we have truly made a sacred deal with the working people and the aging people in this country. And part of it is, you pay into the system, you work hard over the years, and we're not just going to keep moving the finish line back and back and back and back. That's tantamount to saying you're not going to get what it is that you expect and that you have every right to expect.
Maybe. The money's running out.
There are things we need to deal with, and maybe we need to raise the taxes, and maybe we need to sock the people at the upper income levels who aren't paying their share at this point. There are some things that need to get done, but don't be robbing out of the penny bank.
Mychal, hasn't that sacred deal already been violated time and time again by politicians going into our sacred lockbox and stealing all the money that's in there and putting back a lot of worthless IOUs?
Well, of course it has. And Social Security is today and always has been a rob Peter to pay Paul principle. It's a Ponzi scheme that takes the contributions of the later investors and uses them to pay the earlier investors. And what we have, and Ellis is talking about raising taxes on the rich that aren't paying their fair share. Ellis, I love you like an almost brother, but having said that, to raise taxes on the rich, and I want to make sure that I'm right here, raising taxes on the rich would reduce U.S. economic growth by 2 to 3%, and over the next 10 years, we would be looking at a loss of $136 billion in economic activity and $1.1 million $1.1 million jobs.
Well,
we cannot do that, Ellis. It's simply, it sounds good, it doesn't work.
Wildly speculative figures, and I would say that there is a fairness question here. I mean, the working people are paying FICA taxes off of every dollar they earn, and a lot of people don't pay any. Let me stand up for Ponzi 1 second here, though. I mean, sometime that works. I mean, the idea it has maintained what is frankly the most popular and the most successful social program in the history of humanity, and good luck trying to cancel it.
Ellis, I'm glad you mentioned that, because the Ponzi scheme has been one congressional lie after another since 1936, and it continues. But in terms of you cannot raise taxes. Raising payroll taxes, and the National Center for Public Policy Research did a study, and they found that when Congress raised the payroll taxes in '88 and '90, it resulted in a net loss of jobs of 510,000 jobs. And U.S. GDP was reduced by $30 billion.
I'm talking about raising the ceiling. You understand that, right? Raising the ceiling on the amount of money that is taxed, not necessarily the rate that we tax the lower money.
Ellis, all we're doing in raising taxes is giving Congress more money to waste.
Well, Mychal, I understand you don't want. I mean, listen. If you don't believe in, but you're making an argument that says that you don't seem to believe in the entire system. I mean, you're degrading the entire Social Security system.
That's not true.
Hold on, that's a charge, Mychal. You go ahead and answer that charge.
Ellis, that's simply not true. What I'm saying is we do not need to raise taxes. What we need to do is cut spending. We need private investment. Allow individuals to privately invest at least a third of their income into a third of their tax, their FICA into the private sector. And also, if Obama can take $26 billion out of food stamps to give to the unions and another $8 billion out of food stamps to give for his wife's program to combat obesity, if that's the case, then we can cut spending across the board.
Mychal, the last time the Bush administration tried to push this, older people went into an uproar in this country. The stock market crashed, and let's thank God you weren't successful last time.
Mychal, we got to have you back because Ellis got the first and the